I'm making a French ham and leek tart. The dough for the tart is going to be a pate brise. Pate brise is a classic French crust that's very buttery and flaky, and it's also so easy to make. You'll need a 9 or a 10-inch tart pan. This one has a removable bottom, and these are great. I'm making my pate brise. This is that wonderful French crust, and we're going to start with 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Spoon the flour into the measuring cup, but don't pack it down. You want to keep it light and airy. Put that aside, and now I'm going to get 7 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And I love to use a box grater. Use this side of it, it's the widest, and just grate your butter. The butter works great when it's frozen, or you could just get it really cold. I'm adding 1/2 teaspoon of kosher or sea salt. You can use either one, and whisk that up so it blends in really well with your flour. Add in all of your grated butter. Make sure it's still really cold. Now I'm tossing it around in the flour because it's easy to work with once that happens. It's not going to be sticky. I'm going to add some icy cold water. I put a couple of ice cubes into my water to get it chilled. I'm putting in about 3 tablespoons to start. That's what my recipe said, but I found that it needed more hydration, so I slowly added a few more tablespoons. Now I've got a mound of my dough, and I'm going to start rolling it out. I should have put some parchment paper underneath, and now I'm going to do that because it will come off really easily. Sprinkle a little bit of flour on the very top, and you can even put that on the bottom if you want, but we'll do that later. So I'm rolling it out. I like to start from the center and roll out all different ways. You'll have a much more even dough that way. Make sure it will fit to your tart pan. I needed just a little bit more here. You do want it rolled out thin. I'm going to lightly butter my tart pan, or you could spray it. There's so much butter in this dough that it probably would have come out anyway. So here I am fitting it into the tart pan. Make sure it's tucked along the sides on the inner edge first. Then you can take a rolling pin and just cut it off, or you could use a small knife and you'll get a nice even cut. You can just peel away the excess like I'm doing. Chill your rolled out dough in the refrigerator while you're doing other things. I have a bowl of cold water that I'm going to wash my leeks in, and you're always going to use the lighter part of the leek. You're going to cut off that little root part and cut off the dark part. It's too chewy, and it would really be great to make stock with, so you can even keep it in your freezer. And you're going to trim that little end off. And now, on the interior of a leek, they can be really dirty. This one wasn't. I like to cut them in half and kind of take a look on the inside to see if they're sandy or dirty. Quite often you'll see that. There's a little bit on that outer layer there. But anyway, I'm taking a peek, and these are pretty clean. I'm still going to put them in the cold water and wash them because sometimes there's little hidden bits of sand. Once you've done that, take them out of the water, and you're going to want to chop them really fine. You don't want large pieces of leek in your tart. Put them aside. They look great. Start melting 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter in a saute pan and cook your leeks on, say, medium-low, and add about 1/2 teaspoon of salt and some freshly ground pepper. In the meantime, I'm going to shred some Swiss cheese that I had. You can also use Gruyere cheese, and once again, using the box grater is just wonderful. I need about 1 full cup of Swiss or Gruyere cheese. My leeks are just coming along. I'm going to use some roasted prosciutto, but you can absolutely use some baked ham from your holiday ham or something that you can get in the deli, and it all works. Meanwhile, look at those leeks. They're light golden brown and so pretty, and they're ready. I'm going to start making a little bit of a creamy filling, and this is creme fraiche. You can also use sour cream. This is sort of a French version of sour cream, a little bit thicker and richer. I'm adding 2 large eggs to the mix, and this is just going to give it a little bit of creaminess. It's not going to be like a quiche at all. It's very different. So get those blended really well. Whenever I bake a cake or a pie or a tart, I always put it on a cookie sheet. This way, when you take it out of the oven when it's really hot, it's not going to fall all over the place. So I'm going to add my sauteed cooled leeks. Make sure they're cool. You don't want to cook those eggs, and stir that in. And once that's really blended well, I'm going to add my grated cheese. But before I do that, I'm taking off about 1/4 cup, and I'm also taking off 1/4 cup of my chopped ham because I want to garnish with those later. So in your creamy bowl of creme fraiche, you're going to stir that up, and you've added the remainder of the ham and the remainder of the Swiss cheese, and that was about 3/4 cup each. Now I'm going to sprinkle the rest of that ham on the top. That will make it really nice and crispy at the end, and the cheese will melt, and it's going to be dynamite. Now grind or sprinkle some black pepper all over the top and a little touch of salt. And it's time for the oven at 425 degrees. This was about 45 minutes until it's nice and crispy and brown on top. Don't overbake it though. So let it cool a little bit before you cut it. You can eat this warm or at room temperature. It's great. And it's even better the next day. So you could make this ahead for a brunch or a nice lunch, and you see the crispiness there. So it's time to eat. I would serve this with a really great green salad, and you are all set for a wonderful lunch or dinner, bistro style. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't had a chance to subscribe to my channel yet, please do. I would really love it. And please give this a like because that helps too.